Welcome back, Sunday Society, to our second to last episode of Hot Take Summer. Hannah, can you believe it?
Summer has went by so quickly.
Hot
I
Take
cannot
Summer
believe
is
it.
almost done.
That's crazy.
This is what, number 8?
Yeah.
And then next week, number
It's
9.
number 9.
And then we're done. And we will actually be taking a little hiatus, in the month of August to kind of recoup. And we will be September. It'll be
September. We've got a busy month.
We're in August right now. It's so crazy.
It's crazy.
So we will be back with season 4 for spooky season.
Yeah.
Woo. So without further ado, grab your coffee, get comfy, and let's take back Sunday.
So, Bianca, I was going to tell you, I really like this vibe.
Oh, yeah.
So we are at 1012 still, but we're downstairs because they are closed on this particular day.
Yes, on Mondays they are closed for dinner service.
We are just hanging out downstairs.
Yeah,
and I really like
chairs.
this. Yes.
It's such a beautiful building. You can see the bar in the back.
Yeah.
Caleb, the owner, helped build that, made it with his bare hands.
Yeah, and the vault.
And the vault, because this used to be an old bank, so you can see, and there's, the lights are kind of dim. I've got the dessert menu right next to me because I love my desserts.
Yeah, so bread pudding, chocolate lava cake, cheesecake, carrot cake, fresh peach cobbler.
Oh my gosh, and it's all made
I'm
homemade.
hoping it said cobbler, not pie, because I can't see it.
It does say cobbler, you are correct.
Whoop.
I just hope that nobody sees us sitting down here and thinks that we're open because I'm really no, I'm sorry.
Go away.
We're closed.
Bye now.
Goodbye. So, how would you like to start today's Hot Take Summer episode 8?
I think we should do our peaks and pits again. I like that.
All right.
I like that from last time.
That was fun. That was fun. I'll let you go first because I have no idea.
Oh, okay. My peak it's kind of twofold, but it's the same day, same weekend. This last weekend we saw Kevin Hart at Starlight.
Oh, yes.
And he did not disappoint.
No,
he
did
was
not.
so good. For the most part, the 3 people that were before him, his openers, they were hilarious. One guy, I just wasn't vibing with his
joke. Was it the
joke.
second one?
Yeah.
Yeah, I really wasn't either. He was kind of, I don't know, things got dark with him.
I know. I was like, but everybody has their own sense of humor.
Sure.
I'm sure tons of people thought he was funny.
It didn't sound
Kevin Hart was amazing.
Yeah. I definitely recommend going to see him.
Yeah. So it was really good. The first guy was really, really funny.
Yeah.
But he was talking about some female sexual stuff. And of course, when you go to a comedy show, you are opening yourself up to that. But Zach couldn't go because Adeline had a softball tournament.
Yeah.
And so Corbin loves Kevin Hart. So I took him and I was trying to cover his ears. So I was like, oh no. Cause
Yeah. The damage has been done.
Yeah.
The damage is done.
But it was a lot of fun. We had a good time. And then the twofold, the second part of that is that this past weekend, Adeline did really well in her softball tournament. They had a Midnight Madness softball tournament,
which is so cool. They did not do those when I was a kid.
Yeah, and so she actually got MVP, which was really cool.
I want you to explain what that is because they also didn't do that when I played ball. What is an MVP tournament?
Okay, so when the game is done, they have a medal, 1 medal per team, and that team decides who they're going to give that medal to, and they gave it to Adeline.
Yeah. So the team you play, they pick somebody on the other team to give an MVP medal to, which is so cool.
She doesn't normally play first, and the person that normally plays first was not there, and so she took on that role as first baseman and did amazing and got a lot of people out. And yeah, she was so proud. She's still so proud. The second day,
I'd still be wearing that medal.
Yeah, the second night they won 3rd in the championship, or in the overall they won 3rd place, and she had both of her medals on, which I thought was really sweet.
I loved that picture that had both of her little medals on. Yeah. And sorry that I'm so fidgety. I just don't sit still, you guys. I know that that's super distracting.
We bought her a thing she can put on her wall to hang her medals on. Yep. Because she has 3 here now.
Oh.
So we bought a thing for her to hang her medals on. It's like she believed she could, so she did, or something like that. Yeah.
I love that. Anyway,
Zach was putting it up when we left to come here.
Well, I'll have to come in and see it.
Yeah. So my pit, I feel like there's a lot of pits, you guys.
Oh no.
Yeah. It's just a rough transition period for me. I'm going from one position in a building to leaving that position and starting a new
I don't
adventure.
think that we've talked about that yet.
We haven't. So I'm moving to a different building and a different company, same job, just different place, different environment. And then more assisted living with a little bit of memory care versus the skilled rehab nursing constantly. And so I'm very excited for this new adventure, but like it's kind of bittersweet. So
Yeah. Well, and
yeah.
change is scary, regardless of if it's, an exciting change or, maybe it was not by choice change, which in this case it was.
Yeah.
It was by choice.
Change, I am
You're just growing. And
I'm
you're,
a ratliff, and we just don't like change. Like I would love to just be complacent all the time, and that's not a good place to be. So
Yeah. No, I
what
get
about
that.
you?
You've said that before, actually, about your job in Odessa.
Yes, I would have
So-
stayed there for forever.
Yeah. Well, so since the last time we've seen each other, I think the only exciting thing that did happen was Kevin Hart. Like, I think that's the coolest thing.
Yeah. We did have a good time.
We did. The pit, though, was when we thought you lost your wallet.
With Bianca's
With my driver's
ID
license and debit card.
And I was just like, not only did I lose my entire life,
Yeah.
but I lost part of Bianca's. Awesome. I literally wanted to cry, and I was trying to keep it together.
Oh, I felt really bad because I know that I went into I went inside.
Oh yeah, your
Like,
face
I
was
just
totally, and I was like,
because I went on
oh no.
I went on mission mode, Bianca. Like, we've got to get through this crowd of people. I got to talk to somebody. She sent me here. I'm going to talk to her. And then as soon as I got in there to talk to her, I was like, okay, this is fine. It's going to be fine.
Yeah, I was just like, I literally thought that somebody stole my wallet,
Yeah.
and I was like, I literally forgot it. Yes, I
It
forgot
had to be, what, 30 seconds?
30 seconds to a minute. And I was like, oh, wait, my wallet. And went right back to my cup holder, and it was gone. And I was like, somebody done stole my stuff.
Yeah.
And I literally prayed out loud in my head all the way through that line. And I was just like, I couldn't breathe because my anxiety was so high because I was like, oh my gosh, I have to go through and shut off all my cards. I have to get a new
Yeah,
license.
that is
I'm
the
driving
hardest
home
part.
without a license.
Yeah, that was the
All the
hardest
things.
part.
And humanity did well, and they
Yes.
turned it in.
I was
So-
going to say, I think that that's also a peak, is that my faith in humanity was restored, because that place was packed.
Yeah.
Like, all kinds were there. And it's just like, it could have gone
I
the
was
other
so-
way so quickly.
And when I told the lady, I'm like, she asked me when I walked back outside the building, she's like, did you get it? And I'm like, no. She's like, oh, no, honey, you call back tomorrow. I'm like, no, I'm pretty sure somebody stole it. And she's like, oh, that doesn't happen here very often. And I was just like, I would be the time.
It would be me.
Yeah. So I'm so glad that
There are good
somebody
people.
turned it in.
There
yeah.
are good people. We would have turned it in. So I
Yeah.
feel like gotta have
I
faith.
might have looked around to see if anybody was looking for it for a second before I just automatically took it, but whatever.
Yeah, sure.
Because somebody I don't know where they
It had
went.
to have been instant. They
Yeah.
probably grabbed it and just hauled the other
I'm
way.
like, could you not see me walking through this big hey lady, you forgot your wallet? I don't know. It doesn't matter.
Hey lady.
Hey
Anyway.
lady.
It all worked out. You got your wallet. So 2 peaks in one moment.
Yes.
So, all right.
Do you have a pit?
Yeah, it was the wallet thing.
Oh yeah, sorry. It was a peak and a pit.
I missed my first Sunday league softball game. That was a bummer because I did not feel well. I don't know if it's a man flu or if I was just didn't want to leave the house. I don't know. Either way, that kind of sucked because I like to play. I am going to be honest. I'm a little overwhelmed that I'm on so many teams right now. I don't know what I did to myself. But
She made that choice.
I did. But it's only through the end of the month, and then it's done. So September, y'all ain't going to catch me nowhere.
I'm going to need to know what a red eye is.
Oh, I think I asked Annie. Okay, so squirrel. Off topics. There is the coffee shop right behind us, and one of the items is called a red eye. I think that it's straight coffee, if I remember right.
Another peak for Hannah, because we're talking about coffee, is today she's called a PCC. So she kind of does marketing for us. She texted me and was like, because the last time she brought Starbucks, she had bought herself Starbucks and brought it in when she came into our building. I was like, hey girl, I need your Venmo, and you need to let me know the next time you're going to Starbucks before you come here, and I'll Venmo you, and whatever. Anyway, today she texts me, and I was like, yes, I'm so tired. I was like, yes, I will take the largest iced chai latte they have with 2 espresso shots.
Oh my gosh.
So I am jazzed.
Are you? I'm jazzed.
Jazzed.
Not wired, but y'all, but she is jazzed. Wired is here, jazzed.
Yeah, no, we are jazzed.
This is white people hype is jazzed.
White people hype. That's so true. Okay.
So I feel like before we get into like the fun and the whatever, there's a couple things that I wanted to talk about in regards to the Olympics. So we had a conversation on here about the opening ceremony being a replication of the Last Supper. So I have found that there is a possibility that this was actually a replication of it's called the Feast of Dionysus.
Yeah, I saw that too, but they came out, like the people that threw it came out and apologized for.
Oh.
Yeah.
About it being like they did replicate it? Like that was their choice?
They mentioned the Last Supper in their apology.
Oh, okay. Well,
but
I
did
that was
see
interesting.
that.
It's interesting because then
it's very similar.
Yes, and I in the showers when I do my best thinking, you guys. In the shower this morning, I was like,
mine is on the toilet. No, I'm just kidding.
The bathroom must have the best like reception for brainwaves. But I was thinking, I'm like, that is my implicit bias that I am Christian or was raised Christian. I live in a country where, Christianity is kind of this overtone. So of course I see everything through this lens. I didn't even know that the Feast of Dionysus was a painting.
Yeah.
I never would have even considered it because I just don't know.
Yeah.
And it was a learning moment for me. Even though if, they said it was a direct replication of the Last Supper, it's still, I think, should be said.
I feel like it was either ABC News or NBC that came out with some kind of a statement that they wrote, and they did apologize. And maybe it wasn't meant to be. Maybe it was. I don't know. It was weird either way. I think that's what we both agree on.
We agreed at the end. Yeah, I was like,
it was freaking weird. I was like,
it was a choice.
But again, I feel that way when people do like the runway, like model shows, like where they're showing off clothing, the fashion shows. I'm like,
oh yeah, again, that was a choice.
What?
Who's wearing bubble wrap?
Right?
Maybe I need to. But anyway, I just wanted to bring that up because it's like that was a learning moment for me.
Yeah,
just
but
like the next thing that I'm going to talk about.
You definitely have like a good point of the way that we see things because of how, like, the country that we live in and the things that
our life experiences.
Yeah. So, I mean, it does make a lot of sense. But you brought up, like, it's Greek mythology.
Yeah, and that's why
it definitely had a lot to do.
Yeah.
Like, a lot of, like, I don't know, like
mythological undertones.
Yeah.
I think it was like a combination of those two worlds is what it felt like.
And I will say, even though I do think any kind of weird Last Supper stuff is a little bit tasteless, just because I feel like the Last Supper is like a big deal for people that would believe in that. Like, I just don't think it's something that is
the story itself.
It's not supposed to be like, it's not something to like make fun of or to play around with or anything, like whatever. But there are lots of people that have done like the Last Supper, like photos or like in a music video and stuff, and it's definitely not tasteful either. So like it's not just the Olympics,
and it wasn't. Yeah, this isn't the first time this has ever been done.
Yeah,
but no, I understand because in the Bible, the Last Supper is the Last Supper that Jesus has with his disciples before he dies.
Yeah,
like
and again,
it is a big moment in that story.
If I didn't say it the last time we talked about it, I definitely don't think that the Last Supper, the painting portrays the real Last Supper anyway.
You did say that.
Because I feel like they were in some like dark, they were just candlelit small little room. Yeah, because
Da Vinci made it bougie.
Yeah, Da Vinci made it bougie. Yeah,
he was like Last Supper, but make it fancy.
Yeah.
So the second thing that I wanted to talk about, and this is going to be a moment in my life that I'm going to be incredibly vulnerable because I fell into the confirmation bias that circled this situation with that boxer. That boxer is not trans. That boxer is a woman who has a genetic disorder where she only produces testosterone and she does not produce estrogen. And I've sent you something about this.
Yeah, so I read, and I've looked into it. After you sent that to me, I looked into it. My only thing is that really fair to have somebody competing against somebody that doesn't have that, because it's very her. I mean, I know she's been beat by other women.
Yeah.
But I mean, I don't know. But I just am like, I guess I'm not, like we talk about, I'm not smart enough. Is that
Yeah.
like affecting her ability to be like stronger, faster?
See, I don't know.
Because I love like being a independent woman who can do everything. I cannot do everything. I am not as strong as a man. If a man came and tried to fist fight me, I'm probably going to lose.
I'm not.
That is why they make equalizers. Because not everyone is created equal. They make equalizers.
That's true. But I feel like that I unfairly judged that person based on, something kind of clickbaity that.
Well, it was everything. It was everywhere.
No, it was. And
so
that's the thing. Everybody fell into it.
Yeah.
Everybody.
Yeah.
And then, people smarter than me took the time to say, hey, I don't know if that's true. And they figured out that this wasn't a biological male boxing a biological female. And I thought, in my mind, I was like, I know we just had a situation where there was a trans swimmer who I believe they took all of their medals back because of that. Because it's not something right. That's not. That's why we have these different events.
Like, I don't care what you do, like in your personal life, but like when you're competing, that needs to be fair. Like you need to be, even if you identify or have done some surgical stuff to change something, if you were born a certain way and you have that advantage, then you should be competing against people with that same advantage, if that makes sense.
No, it does make sense.
So
and I think,
but I don't think this is the same situation.
No, I don't. And I don't know that person would have had the advantage because of what they're.
See, that's where I'm like, I don't know,
because they haven't, because they have lost. It does seem to be like it was balanced. I'm not entirely sure why the other person just dropped out, but I know that they have said that they would love to go back and try again. But
she like dropped to her knees and started crying. Like,
well,
I mean, don't get me wrong. Shoot. You got to be tough to
punch me. Anybody.
I mean, but
so I wanted to take that moment to acknowledge, because I didn't say anything publicly about it, but I felt bad. Can you imagine how that person feels? That the entire
they probably
world,
could care less. They're probably like, and I'm out here winning medals.
I don't know, man.
Hate is gonna hate.
Well, I hope that she is that confident in herself, but I imagine that growing up,
I will be honest though, like she definitely does look more.
She's
like
very
a male.
masculine, and that's she probably dealt with self-esteem issues her whole life, and now here she's on this social world platform, and everyone's like, "That's a dude," and she's like, actually, I'm not.
The Olympics, I'm assuming they've changed some rules since the trans person competed, the swimmer competed against the female swimmer.
I'm not sure.
The females. I'm assuming they changed something because I think they do like some kind of test now. Like some kind of, I don't know if it's like a testosterone.
I don't know. I feel like we'd have to look at that.
I read something that she did fail some testosterone tests, but at some point, but I think it's because she is
genetic. That's just
anyway, it doesn't matter. Whatever. The point is unless you knock me out, and maybe I'm just thinking I'm too big and bad, but unless you knock me out cold, I am not gonna fall to my knees and cry. Like that's gonna make me so mad that Hannah's gonna like see red and like craziness is gonna come out, and I'm gonna fight until you do knock me out.
I've seen it. I've seen it happen.
Like I'm just thinking when she got down on her knees and cried, I'm like, girl, get yourself back up. Dang.
Well, I just
You are a professional.
You're a professional. Act like a professional. No,
I think that
confirmation bias is a real thing. You see these things that are like, oh yeah, this all makes sense. It has to be true.
Girl,
you just convince yourself that it's true.
You know the guy that plays the husband, Beyonce's husband with the white lady that's crazy. What's his name? It's like
Idris Elba.
Yeah. I saw on TikTok that he died today, and I looked it up on Google. No, he did not.
I was like, I would have known that one. I would have heard that news. I got a Google alert out for that man.
Literally everything I see on TikTok, I have to go fact check because you just never know. People can make up anything.
And that's a good point. Is that you never truly know.
Yeah.
You have to look through everything with discernment and a microscope and figure out who benefits from this story.
And I will give it to that lady. I don't know her name, so I'm sorry. And I think her name's a little bit hard to pronounce. But anyway, I will give it to her that what people should be talking about is how amazing of an athlete she is.
Yeah.
And instead, everybody is talking about
how she looks like a man.
how she looks like a man.
Yeah.
Or like what gender she is or
As
whatever.
somebody who in their childhood had the nickname John Elway, I understand her pain.
That was your nickname?
That was a nickname that my neighbors gave me.
Ew.
Because they said I looked like a horse.
Who were your neighbors? I'm going to fight whoever her neighbors were. That is mean.
That was it was
actually
John
say
Elway.
Oh
no, I'm not going to say their name. No, I'm not going to have them be like under the spotlight. I don't even think he lives here anymore. I think he lives in like Chicago, but it was Horseface. So my brothers could never say my name, so they called me Bonka. That sounds like Wonka, so it would Bonka Wonka in the Chocolate Factory, which was fine. But then he would say Bonka Wonka in the Horseface Factory.
Was this a kid or an adult?
No, he's probably a solid 5 years older than me.
Ew, I don't like that.
Yeah. So as somebody who has had that type of experience, I do feel bad for her. Okay. But the one thing that I think we should all be upset about, let's get mad about the right thing, people. How in God's planet, how in Beyonce's internet are we allowing a rapist to compete on the world level, on the world platform? How are we allowing somebody who raped a 12-year-old?
Yes, he went to prison for 4 years.
4 years, didn't even serve his whole term. Get mad about that. Let's get mad about the correct things.
Yeah.
That is what I'm mad about. So that's on that. That is my Olympics update.
Freaking, yeah, that's disgusting, and shame on the Olympics for allowing him to. I mean, like,
outrage.
You could make a rule that you can't be a felon.
Boom.
That's an easy one. You can't be a felon.
But anyway, that's the hot take on the Olympics. Let's talk about something else.
Okay, so I want to know your opinion. I'm not saying this is my opinion. I just found it. Okay. So I'm running out of hot takes. I thought it was really opinionated. Apparently, I'm not that opinionated. Celebrities have no right to complain about privacy.
I don't know. I feel like at a certain level, there is their right to privacy is going to look a lot different than yours and mine.
Mm-hmm.
Because they are on a platform that is public.
Mm-hmm.
However, at the end of the day, they are people, and I do think that they should have their boundaries respected. Like, people shouldn't be using 1,000 zoom lenses to get pictures of them in their homes. They shouldn't be allowed to like stalk them so close on the streets that they can't move.
Yeah, so I'm right there with you. I think about like paparazzi being up in their face, and how many celebrities we've seen videos or pictures of them pushing like a camera out of their face, or like with their children. Like,
I always support it. When I see a celebrity punch a paparazzi, I'm like, yes, get 'em.
So yeah, I think there needs to be some, like, obviously, you know, if you're out in public, people are going to notice if you're famous or whatever, but there needs to be some rights to privacy. And like, if you have children, like, I know it's a free country. I just feel like that you shouldn't be able to, like, without permission, get pictures of children.
Absolutely.
So
I agree
that's where I stand on it. I'm very strong when it comes to their kids.
Absolutely. Because their kids didn't choose it. Mm-hmm. You know, their kids didn't choose that life. And I've noticed recently on the Kardashians that Kourtney's oldest, Mason, is not really in the show ever. Yeah. And I think it's because he's old enough now to make the choice to be like, no, I'm good. Yeah. And I love that so much. And I agree that I think kids are 1,000% off limits.
Yeah.
It's not worth the payout.
Yeah, no.
Yeah. And that's why celebrities don't share their names of their kids or the gender of their kids, because it's so easy, I think, for them to figure out the information that they need to find them.
Or you'll be like
just
Kylie,
those little details.
Kylie Jenner, who names her child Wolf and tells everybody, and then it's like, never mind.
Do we even know what she changed the name to?
No.
I don't think I ever knew.
I'm sure it's out there.
Yeah.
I just remember hearing Wolf, and I was like, oh.
Yeah. She talked about it on the show. She's like, yeah, I said that. And then I was like, why did I do that? I'm like, sis, you tell me, and then we'll both know.
You know, when you just have a baby, you're all over the place.
Things are wild.
That's probably part of
what I've been told. All right.
What you got, girl?
All right. This is a hot take that could divide us forever.
Oh.
Backstreet Boys or NSYNC? Oh. Don't even think about it. Immediately, what's your first choice?
NSYNC.
NSYNC. Yes! We're not divided. United we stand, baby. I will say NSYNC.
It's hard, though.
It's not. It's not. It's not, though. For me, it's not. They were the first band that I fell in love with. I remembered watching we talked about this the other day, so you already know this story. And sometimes it's fun to tell these stories to you guys, but I'm like, she's heard this probably 10 times. She's only heard it once though. So
yes, only once.
They had a special on the Disney Channel where they had a concert, and it was late at night, and it was Florida. So, I think that they're an hour ahead of us. And so it was probably like 10 o'clock at night, and I was probably like 8 years old, and I was supposed to be asleep. And my butt was up on my floor doing all the dances with NSYNC, just vibing. And my mom came in and I was like, jumped into the bed and fell down and tried to pretend I was asleep, and I'm sweat dripping everywhere. Like I got a cardio workout dancing to NSYNC. And I can remember skating to them at the skating rink in Higginsville. And it just takes me back to such a good time in my life.
I think there's more NSYNC songs that I like than Backstreet Boys songs.
The older I get, though, the more Backstreet Boys I listen to.
Oh,
it's
really?
very weird. Yes.
Okay, Britney Spears or Christina Aguilera?
Britney Spears when I was a kid.
Same.
I had every single album. Every single album. As I got older, I listened to more Christina.
Yeah,
I think her talent I think she's more talented.
She is more talented. But just like as a kid, it would have been Britney Spears.
Yeah. I remember I wanted to wear a crop top to school when Britney was I wanted to go to school as Britney Spears for Halloween. And my dad was like, absolutely not. And she had the tiniest little bare midriff. And now you've got kids going to school in sports bras, and teachers are like, whatever, we can't tell them not to do it. I'm like, what do you mean?
Yeah. I do know that, for some reason, Corbin, little Corbin, when he was little, saw the video of Genie in the Bottle, and he was like, oh. And I was like, oh. Listen, there's been a few times where I was like, well, he did things as a very young boy that I was like, well, he's not gay. I remember he had a babysitter one time that he was like, she's hot. And he was like 4. And I was like, okay,
gosh.
well.
How do you even know what hot means at 4 years old? My goodness.
Yeah. Anyway. Yeah, definitely. I'm glad that we stand
too.
Together.
I thought that you would choose Backstreet Boys for some reason.
Yeah, no. NSYNC for sure.
Love it. I'm also chilling very hard right now. I feel like I need to sit back up.
Okay, so my next hot take, again, not my opinion, just found it. Being young and dumb should in no way be celebrated nor sought after.
I feel like you're going to think that I agree with this, but I don't.
I don't agree with it either.
I think that you should be young and dumb because that's how you learn.
Exactly. So
you learn from all those mistakes that you
make. There
was
a whole Reddit thread about being stupid and making stupid decisions. But that is how we grow and we learn.
I was going to say,
and I think that you should celebrate, those times of hey, you've learned something. Is it hard when you're in it? Yeah. Is it hard to parent kids that are in the young and dumb?
Yeah.
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 But you have to get there to be where we are. Yeah.
If you never make bad choices, you never learn what to do. And if your parents always solve your problems for you, you never develop that problem solving ability.
Yeah.
So then when you are an adult, that you can figure out life by yourself.
Yeah. No, I agree.
Yeah.
Also, I just want to say that I think we've had this competition between the two of us, an unspoken competition that I wanted to talk about, and I forgot.
No.
So we're obviously always trying to get a good hot topic or a good hot take. And I feel like Bianca and I sometimes will be listening to something, and I'm in my head, I'm I hope she doesn't take this. I want to talk about this one. Do you get
I get that.
I'm what a good competition to have.
Yes. I'm I hope that, because I'll ask, do you have this one down? You asked me before. I'm no, I didn't even know that there was a hot topic on that this week.
Yeah.
Okay. I have a conspiracy theory.
Ooh.
So there's a podcast called the You Should Know podcast.
Yes.
Cameron, Peyton, they're on it. Peyton is a little squirrely. But he has a conspiracy that the food that we eat is not real. Bear with me.
What do you mean?
So he does not think that there are enough chickens in the world to produce the amount of eggs that we consume.
Has he ever seen chicken farms?
And that's exactly what Cameron said. He's it's because we don't live near chicken farms.
They're disgusting.
Well,
and it's disgraceful how the conditions of their life.
It is sad. But then it's how many chicken wings Because it's like you think about Wingstop and how many people order
Oh my
wings at
gosh.
Wingstop and how many Wingstops there are. And then you've got Buffalo Wild Wings, you've got Pizza Hut, you've got Casey's, you've got all these places that make
That's why
all
they're
these
putting all
wings.
these hormones and stuff in these
Bro.
chickens because we will run out with all.
That's what I'm
We gotta stop
saying.
eating so many chicken wings.
He was saying this. I'm like, Peyton, you're
freaking
so
dead.
stupid. But I'm like, oh my God.
It's actually
What
a
are
good
we
point.
eating? Yeah.
Listen,
I really
if
think
you
it's
told
chicken,
me that our food wasn't real and we're not actually eating meat, I would be like, yeah, probably.
I mean, where's the lie? At this point, the eggs aren't real. The eggs aren't.
They making burgers that are from plants that taste like burgers.
But
apparently,
they still call that like the Impossible Burger or a veggie burger.
Yeah.
They don't peddle it to you as beef. They're like, hey, try this new beef.
So here is one that I might kind of agree with on this one.
Perfect.
They should give an extra Olympic medal to athletes who set new Olympic records. And not that wouldn't count, like it wouldn't count towards the medals for their teams, but it would just be like an acknowledgement at the Olympics.
Like the relay race?
Katie Ledecky smashed her own Olympic record.
She's a swimmer.
And, a lot of people feel like she should be celebrated. I think that's fine.
I watched that there was a USA relay race participant. I don't remember her name, but she had a world record. Like she made an Olympic world record.
Yeah. So this is that the same team.
Yeah.
This girl beat her own Olympic record.
Yeah. I think I agree.
Again, I think she set one before. And since it's only like 4 years, people were saying like, hey, we should celebrate these athletes.
100% agree with that.
Here's another hot take that goes into the Olympics. I kind of feel like the Olympics are like the Hunger Games.
It kind of feels that way, except nobody dies.
But instead of like, we're not the sorry people.
we're at the Capitol.
We're watching these people.
Oh my gosh.
But they're not sorry people either.
Yeah, they're like actually really
good. But it does kind of feel like this like societal like
hierarchy.
Yeah. It kind of reminds me of that. I think about that every time the Olympics come through. It kind of reminds me of the Hunger Games.
It is interesting that it's just like a non-violent Hunger Games.
Yeah, may the odds ever be in your favor.
Exactly.
Okay. That's my hot take on that one.
Okay. All right. So this one is, I have it listed as phoneless fool photo, and it's because I saw this on Facebook. I'm going to read you the caption.
Okay.
Some poor phoneless fool is probably sitting by a waterfall somewhere, totally unaware of how angry and scared he's supposed to be. I say that to ask this: is ignorance really bliss?
Yes. That's why I don't watch the news.
You would just rather be blind to it.
I am a much happier person. Like if it's something that we need to know about, I'm going to like look it up or whatever. But no, I'm good. And then even in like
no, I'm good.
local news, people be like, "Did you hear about so and so? They're like getting a divorce." And I'll be like, "Nope."
And see, I love the tea.
I mean, I'm not saying I don't like the tea, but I just don't know.
We don't seek it out. Like if I know something,
people don't tell me things, and it's not because I tell other people, because I literally talk to like 4 people, so it's not that.
And 2 of them are me.
So it's I like if you come up to me and you're like, Susie Long cheated on her husband and now they're getting a divorce, I'm gonna be like, oh wow,
bummer.
But like, I'm not going to be like, oh, Susie's a whore. Never. Like, I'm just not now. What Bianca and
or yawn, I mean.
Bianca and I might say different things, like to each other, because I trust her with my life. She knows every secret I ever have.
We in too deep at this point.
Yeah. I know too much on her. She better never repeat what I say.
Heck no.
But like to other people that are talking to me, I am not going to be, nope, I'm not saying a word.
Because you can't trust anybody.
And I'm not going to walk around going, hey, did you hear? Hey, no, I'm not getting caught up in that.
Don't be that person.
That stuff's going into the vault that I'm talking to Zach and Bianca about. That's it.
Exactly.
And I'm just be like, hey, did you know? And they're going to be like, oh, wow. I'm like, yeah.
Or yes. And then Zach, yeah, I knew that. I learned it like a
Let
month
me tell
ago.
you.
Dude, he's the worst at getting the tea.
But he likes the tea.
He is a gossip. He is a gossip. Neil is not.
No.
I don't think Neil is a gossip. Neil's like, whatever. What happened? Yeah. And Zach's like, ooh, let me tell you what happened. He doesn't ask a lot of follow-up questions, but he knows things.
That's the most obnoxious thing. Like, he has information about something, and I'll be like, okay, so da 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 da, and he'll be like, I don't know, and I'll be like, what do you mean? Or if you had, I know you know something, and I have all these, I need you to come tell me every detail you know about it. I should not have to ask you 25 questions.
Nope.
To get you to tell me the story. You know the story. Just start from the beginning.
Women, I know you get it. And he is the worst at telling stories. I'm so sorry, Zach.
So Brinley was telling this a long, drawn out story in the car this weekend. And he was like, and I go, she gets it from you.
Yes. Remember the... Yes. Did you tell him what I said?
No, but every time he tells a story, it is so long. Like the thing with his roommate or
literally the story could have been 5 minutes.
It was
5
like an
words. It took so long. In the middle of the story, I sent Anna a message and said, "This is where Brinley gets her storytelling skills."
Yeah. But for somebody that doesn't talk a lot all the time, I let him talk when he wants to talk because I feel like he doesn't talk that often.
He doesn't get to listen to this episode. he'll never talk again. My goodness. Okay, so ignorance is bliss. Yes. I'm split because it's like I feel like you should be aware and you should know, but at the end of the day, like with politics and like with all this crap, but at the end of the day, it's like, what am I supposed to do with all this information? It just sits here and makes me miserable.
I don't feel like any new information I get about anybody that is like any politicians changes my mind on how I was going to vote. So I don't even listen to it. That's where I'm like, why are we talking about politicians on social media? Because do you honestly think you're going to change anybody's mind? Probably not.
Yeah. How many times in the history of Facebook did your post change somebody's political opinion?
Never.
Probably not.
Also, I don't know if you've seen it or not. This is not one of mine, but you brought up like the ignorance is bliss. And I don't know why you were talking about a phoneless guy. And I just thought wilderness. I don't know why.
Sure. Okay.
Have you seen the video where the guy tries to feed the bear snacks?
I think so.
And it's like, oh, he thinks he's just like...
And then
it goes to attack him and the camera goes and you're like, yeah, dude, what do you think was going to happen?
You were the snack, handsome. You were the snack.
It like gets all down low and slows down and looks at him for a second and then it like jumps and you're like, yeah, it was just... You are the food, man.
Mm-hmm. It's you. Hi.
You are the dinner. The food you were throwing to that bear...
That was the appetizer. That was the hors d'oeuvres.
Anyway, it made me think of that when you were talking about
funny.
That.
Yeah, I did see that. I think maybe you sent it to me.
Oh,
maybe Neil did. I don't know.
I don't think it was me because it freaked me out, and I was like, Bianca's going to be freaked out about it because
you're the one that wants to be mauled by a bear. So.
Listen, if I'm going to go,
that's how she wants it to happen. Okay.
I would be okay with that. Better than a person that ties me up and tortures me for days.
It's true. It's true.
Their talons are so big, though. Like one good swipe, and you're done. You're done skis.
They get you done skis. They get you in the right spot, man, and you're out.
If not, like you're gonna intestines are gonna be hanging out for a minute, then you're gonna die.
There's a Grey's Anatomy episode about that. Guy comes out of the car just holding his guts, and I'm like, oh,
yeah,
brother.
I love Grey's Anatomy. Well, I don't watch it anymore.
I haven't watched it in so long.
It's because Grey left. Like once Grey left, I was like, yeah, I
stopped during COVID because when they started showing like the COVID stuff, it took me back to like going through all of that. And you, I feel like in healthcare experienced that more than I did. But it
didn't really bother me. It was just awful. Yeah, Grey left, and I was like, yeah, this is a good time. I guarantee
it's a good time to stop.
So, yeah, but Shonda Rhimes always number one. She's emotionally wrecking me.
She's the reason I'm in therapy.
And secondly, I always be like, oh, why do they have to show that? Oh my gosh.
I know.
Like we get it.
It's the wow factor.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. On to hot topics for me. Okay. Cardi B filed for divorce from rapper and husband Offset. Mm-hmm. And on the same day, she posted that she was pregnant with her third child.
Yeah.
And people are like, oh.
People had things to say.
Yeah. So it doesn't really matter to us. But I was like, I will say, I thought it was nice that she obviously knows that everybody's going to find out that she's filing. I don't think he's a good person.
It sounds like there's been a lot of infidelity.
Well, and even like public stuff, he's like gotten, like she's been trying to grab him and the cops are going to get called because he's like being aggressive with other people. So like, do you, sis, whatever. I think it was good that she I think maybe not the same day, but whatever. I think it was good that like she's like, oh, you guys want to talk about this? Well, this is what I'm going to talk about. I'm about to have a third child.
Yeah. She gets to control that narrative then.
Yeah.
Like she controls the story that comes out about her. And in that sense, I do think those celebrities have a right to privacy.
And I have a really tough time with Cardi because she talks about her past, and I am not okay with her almost gloating about the fact that she would hustle men and steal from them in that time of her life. Like, I don't think that is something you should be proud of or boast about. But her personality is so funny. And like, I love listening to her talk because she is so funny.
Yeah.
Like, I think she could do comedy, like, because she is very, very funny. Yeah. So I kind of go back and forth because I'm like, but everybody grows up, everybody changes. But like the fact that she almost sounded proud and has music kind of that surrounds the things that she did, I'm just like, I don't really like that. But
yeah, and see, I don't know if that's just because, she did what she had to do to survive, and that's what she wants to like portray in her music. But yeah, I don't, Yeah. I've never been in a situation where I've had to hustle a man.
Yeah. And I will say that I don't think anybody would be supporting men who made music about hustling women.
I mean, it happens all the time. It's just not money. They talk about.
Well, but that's what I'm saying. Like stealing from, I don't think, I don't think that. I don't know.
I agree with you.
Yeah, I don't think people be like, "Oh, this is good." They'd be like, "What?"
Luda, talking about stealing diamonds from the club, from the ladies.
They would be like, "You're a loser."
Watch somebody tell us, "Oh, there's actually a whole album about that."
Yeah. So I have no idea. I'm very like, right is right, wrong is wrong. It doesn't matter. Like, obviously, I'm a female. Before. It doesn't matter if you're a female and you're saying crazy things. I'll be like, "Hey, that's not cool." So
yeah.
Anyway, that's my first hot take.
I have a blank card. Okay, well, my last topic for this episode is not really a hot take or a hot topic. It's just a piece of information from me to you, our lovely listeners. There is a kind of a push that I'm starting to see for parents to show their kids less stimulating TV shows, like their little kids, like less stimulating shows. It. So I actually have a picture that I found on Pinterest that I'm going to share on our Facebook page. I've shared it with my sister-in-law. I've shared it with Laura. Your kids are old, so it wouldn't make sense to share it with you. They're old. They grandmas. But it's like, like Franklin. I don't think Brinley's going to be watching Franklin. But they're slower paced. They have less stimulation, and they have really gentle themes. And so some of them are, there's a show called Trash Truck. And Laura actually talked to me about that show when I brought this up before I told her what the list was. Mm-hmm. And I was like, oh, that's on this list. It's about a trash truck that is friends with a raccoon. I don't know. Maybe. I might have made that up. That sounds like an acid trip.
No, it doesn't make sense. Like raccoons.
Oh, duh. Yeah.
Like okay, so get in the trash.
Maybe that is true.
It sounds right.
So then Zaboomafoo was on this list. And that was when we were kids.
I don't know what that is.
Zaboomafoo, he's a little lemur. And he like,
oh, maybe I do know what this is.
It's like on PBS or something.
So like Arthur, is that considered like a slowed down?
I don't know I don't think that one was on the list.
Is
but
Peppa Pig?
No, because that's not the vibe. So Peppa Pig is a bully.
Oh yeah, I don't like Peppa Pig. So what about like Miss Rachel? Is that one where it's like those kind of videos, like where it's very basic and there's not a lot of colors and a lot of things going on?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know that she was on the list. These are more like
cartoons.
Yeah. Or like shows, not YouTube things. Yeah. So a couple other examples: Little Bear, which was out when we were kids. Yes. I loved Little Bear. Yeah. There's actually a show right after that would come on called Rupert. And I really liked
Rupert
that
too. Yep.
And then Franklin, and then Reading Rainbow was an example.
Okay. So I feel like Miss Rachel would probably fit into that because Reading Rainbow, because it is very like chill. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, honestly, I have 3 kids, age range from 14 to almost 9. And technology has
overstimulation on those videos that they watch.
Their attention span is so tiny.
Well, and like everyone's always shouting and screaming and moving and doing this and doing that and going here and going there. And we got this color, we got this, we got that. I'm like, can we turn this off, please? Yeah. It is overwhelming me. I'm going to just start turning on Little Bear. Like, Brinley, sit down, watch Little Bear.
What did you say was one of the, I said Arthur, but you said something else.
Franklin.
That's what I was thinking of, not Arthur. Franklin. Yes. I liked Franklin.
I did too.
With his little pet or little wildlife friends or whatever. Is that it?
I think so. I mean, he's a turtle.
Yeah.
So yeah, that would make
Yeah.
sense.
And then I feel like there's one on like Disney Channel, like the little kid Disney Channel that is similar to that. And they're like hamsters or something. And
Oh,
it's
Max
like
and
not,
Ruby?
yeah, maybe.
My mom would not let me watch that because she's like, where are their parents?
Oh.
They didn't have parents. I'm like, Mom, where are you?
Yeah, I don't know. So anyway,
Yeah.
but I totally agree.
Yeah, I thought I would post it because I know some of the people that listen have small kids, and I
Yeah.
just think that is something that, if you are, some parents are choosing not to have screen time, but if you are, find something that's not just gonna like
Let's be honest. If
overstimulate
you
their
are,
brain.
we're not judging you
No,
because
my gosh.
take a break from them. These
kids, exactly.
Okay, so my last two hot takes. Carrie Underwood announced that she will be a judge on American Idol, and I thought that was really cool because
Oh,
she
I
was
love
on American
that.
Idol. Hot take, though, in this hot topic,
Uh-oh.
I actually don't like Carrie Underwood's music.
I think you've told me that before.
Yeah, and listen, I think she has a
Really?
good voice. I think she's gorgeous. I don't know why. I just don't like her music.
That is a hot take.
Yeah, I really don't know. Like I can't even explain it.
Yeah.
Like I have no reason. It just I'm like, yeah.
Some
next.
people, you just don't like it. Yeah.
Yeah. So, but I was really excited because she came from American Idol. I think,
Yeah, she
like
did.
that, like
one of the OGs. Like,
yeah. It would be like Kelly Clarkson being
Can
on
you
American Idol.
imagine?
Like Kelly Clarkson probably don't want nothing to do with American Idol because she's definitely. I feel like that was it's the way she talks about it's like kind of like a maybe not the best experience for her, but anyway.
Yeah. Well, she went through it the first time, so hopefully they have like learned from mistakes.
I think Carrie Underwood, I could be wrong, spitfiring. I think she was the 4th American Idol winner.
I remember I watched that episode at your house with you.
Oh, really?
In the front room. Yeah, we were on the floor watching it.
But yeah, so I'm excited because I feel like she will be a good, like her, like person, like she's been there. She's been in their shoes. She brings that experience. So I don't watch American Idol religiously. I did when I was younger. I loved it. Yeah. But I think that's awesome. And if I catch it, I will watch it because I love listening to
my grandparents. That's their thing. America's Got Talent, The Voice, and American Idol. They will always be watching those things.
I loved that. I'm like an old person now. Enjoy shows like game shows.
Oh my god!
Give me all the game shows.
We'll just sit and watch like Wheel of Fortune, Jeopardy.
Karaoke stuff. Then it goes into the karaoke singing, and I'm like, I could watch this all day.
Yep.
Okay, the last one.
All right.
There is a new version of the ABCs. Have you heard it? Mm-mm. So a teacher came up with it, and it is like, it is not. So there is a pause after the N.
Sure.
There is no and between Y and Z. So it's like it breaks it up.
X,
it sounds
Y, Z.
Yes. It breaks it up because so many kids, when they're learning the alphabet, will sing LMNOP. And it sounds like it's a word.
Yeah.
LMNOP. And it breaks it up. And it's gone viral. This teacher was like, yeah, I've made this song up to help. And I think they're like,
leave it alone.
Leave it alone.
Leave Britney alone.
Yeah. We've known this. A lot of people, like, some people are like, yeah, we get it. And then some people are like, I don't like it. Yeah. I just don't like it. Because how long have we been listening and learning our ABCs the exact same way? But I will tell you, LMNOP, that is confusing for little ones. So I get it.
And I know that
and she's a teacher, so I'm assuming like it's coming from a good place.
Positive intent, exactly. Yeah. When I was at Head Start, when we would say the alphabet, we would speak it. We wouldn't sing it. We would say it, and we would make sure to say LMNOP because of that reason.
Yeah.
And just because something has been done a certain way for all of eternity doesn't mean that that's the way it has to be. Like, just because that's the way it is doesn't mean it's the way it should be. There's a hot take.
So yeah, if you haven't heard it, just look up new ABC song and it will come up. It's been all over the news.
I'll have to listen to it during our break.
Yeah, people are like, what?
During our break, like we're radio disc jockeys right now. Stay tuned for the 90s alternative hits.
What's the Delilah?
Yeah. Please don't sue me, Delilah.
I love Delilah.
I did too. So did Mike. He loved it. He's like, yeah, Delilah. I'm like, yes. You get it.
Listen, she had good music on her radio station.
Yes.
And like good, like feel good stuff.
Yeah,
Anyway,
good stories. And she had a very soothing voice.
put me to sleep.
Yes. I remember
Delilah needs to read like sleepy time books.
Oh my gosh. Could you imagine?
To voice over the books or whatever.
Delilah, where you at, girl? We need you.
If
America
anybody knows
needs you.
Delilah, just kidding.
America needs your voice.
But yeah, I think she's still on. I think she's still on the radio somewhere. Yeah.
I'm gonna have to check it out because I know. So I would listen to that. It was on 98.1 KUDL, Cuddle, and I would. Sleepless in Seattle was one of my favorite movies, and so they had that. That's how like Meg Ryan's character meets, hears and learns about Tom Hanks's character because the son calls into this radio show.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh man. So I edited this, the episode that's going to come out this next Sunday. And you asked about like favorite rom-com. I have to change it back. I have to go back on my word. Sleepless in Seattle.
Oh, darn.
There's a part when Tom Hanks is describing his ex or his wife who died. And he says that it's like, have you seen Sleepless in Seattle?
I don't think so. If I have, it's not for years.
He says something along the lines of, she just stepped out of a cab and I grabbed her hand and it was like home. And the only home I ever knew was her. And I was like, just is so, I want somebody to say that about me. That is what I want. I want a Tom Hanks, Meg Ryan kind of love. So.
Yeah, that's why we shouldn't watch romantic comedies because
it wasn't Disney.
It gives us
it was Meg
unrealistic expectations about these men are not Tom Hanks, I don't think is a good person, but these men are not those characters.
Yeah, that's Sleepless in Seattle. You've Got Mail. Oh man, there's another one I think that they're in together, but it's like, those are the movies that ruined me. It wasn't Disney. It was Meg Ryan and Tom Hanks. So on that note.
Yeah, I think I don't have anything else. So.
Okay, well, ladies and gentlemen, follow us, stalk us.
Ladies and gentlemen. Ladies and gentlemen.
Gentlemen.
Okay, we're really going to get some copyright issues.
Okay, sorry. ADHD kicking in. Follow us, like us. All of the things.
YouTube, TikTok, Facebook, Instagram,
Spotify. Email us, tbspod23@gmail.com.
Text Bianca at 660-239. I'm just kidding.
8675309. And that's on that. So I'm Bianca.
And I'm Hannah.
And we are
Taking Back Sunday.
Someone's trying to come in.
Is that not locked?
No, it's locked.
We closed.
The door even says. I'm trying to scooch over so they can't see.
I thought they walked away.
No, they still read.
I'm going to get a sit.
Oh, good call. Oh, mine's all the way over there. It's fine. I can't risk them seeing me.
We're going to risk the biscuit.
Risk it for the biscuit. Okay.
There we go. I knew that didn't sound right.
Okay. I'm going to risk the biscuit. No, I'm not.
I'm just going to have to choke my own chickens from now, I guess.
You cannot say that. You cannot choke the chicken,
That is what it's called at Stroud's.
Oh my God.
Okay, hold on. Stroud's is a restaurant where they choke their own chickens.
I bet they do. I bet they do.
This is staying in. They raise and kill their own.
My hand movement, though.
It's fine. We'll put X-rated or something on this one. They raise and kill their own chickens and serve you those chickens.
God.
And it's the best dang chicken I've ever had.
Oh, I bet it is. Okay. Well, that was fun. Don't choke your own chicken. Get someone to choke the chicken for you.
Oh, woo! All right.
Whew, Lord. Okay. I'm sweating.
Okay.